Joining me now in the group chat, Jackie Kucinich, CNN political analyst and Washington bureau chief for the Boston Globe, Chuck Rocha, Democratic strategist and senior advisor for Bernie Sanders' presidential campaigns, and Rob Bluey, president and executive editor at the Daily Signal. Jackie, I'm going to start with you because you're at the Boston Globe, and I know from working in Boston for a long time, we get sick of talking about Harvard. However, why is the administration pushing so hard in this direction? They could, if they wanted, to go after elite universities, do something that would undermine them across the board.
Because they want, I mean, you said it in your intro, they want to make an example of Harvard. Harvard is fighting back, unlike some of the other elite universities, and they really want to force them into compliance. And this goes right at their bottom line. I mean, the tuition paid by not only undergrad but graduate students, and they're able to attract talent from around the world. And this really this hits at that. And I think we could expect Harvard to fight as I think that because that's been the pattern.
The people excited to see this, China reacting, saying a spokesperson for the China Foreign Ministry saying on Friday the U.S. move will only tarnish its own image and reputation in the world. Other commentators on China's social media, it's fun to watch them destroy their own strength. Another added, Trump comes to the rescue again.
It's a privilege for foreign students to study in the United States. It's also a privilege for universities to host those students. Now, Kristi Noem in her letter did give Harvard an opportunity to respond, and she provided a list of things that they need to comply with. They're not in compliance with the federal government's requirements right now in providing her the information that she's requested. And so,
but right now, the best and the brightest from around the world want to come to the U.S., whether it's Harvard or any other place. Why would they now? And we've seen in other post-war contexts, for instance, what happens when a country experiences a brain drain. Do we want to start telling people, take a hike?
Well, for those students who are disruptive on campus and they're...
But this is everyone. This is all 6,000.
This is everyone at Harvard, but I think that what you see in Kristi Noem's comments and also the letter that she sent to Harvard, they really focused on the anti-Semitism that's taking place on that campus and other campuses across the country. And so, yes, it does affect everybody, but I think what she's saying is clean up the mess you have with anti-Semitism, and then you won't be in this crosshairs.
Okay. The American people see with this because they see Harvard as elite. They get that, and that's what the perception is, but they see it just as another context of bullying, of him not getting his way. And also, Harvard knows what they're doing when they pick back with when they send a letter and then they spell check everything and put the circles and try to embarrass the president. When you get these two head to head, it's a fight with unlimited money and resources of folks trying to just one up each other.
It's interesting because when I think back to the era of integration, when the federal government also used its levers of power to say, no, you cannot have segregated schools. It's interesting seeing this in this new context because it's not leveraged the same way, right? Like I said, it's not across the board. It's not going after particular policies. It's going after particular schools. We had that Harvard professor earlier in the clip talking about this being what authoritarians do. And CNN's Stephen Collinson writes, they also fit into the category of presidential acts that ordinary citizens lack the capacity to influence, and that this mirrors how autocrats corrode checks and balances by fostering cynicism about government institutions and disempowering the public. Can you guys, I don't know if that hits your ear, right, but what are you thinking when you hear this idea that people start to feel helpless as they see the government target various institutions and people?
When I went to work for the union, I never went to college. And so the union quickly realized I needed some kind of an education and sent me to Boston to go to school at Harvard. And I don't talk about this a lot, but I remember being around these students who are from foreign countries because I'd never been around foreigners that much because I grew up in a real small town in East Texas. And I remember how much hope and how much energy they brought to everything that they talked about because they were seeing democracy in action, and many of them came from places where you couldn't do that. And that's what sat with me when I watched this, is they almost appreciated it more than Americans because we take it for granted of how good of an education a great place Harvard was.
Do you think that do you think we're going to see a good faith effort by the administration to show what is it you need to do to be in compliance? Right? Like the things that they asked for were like, we want to have a lot to say of your curriculum, who goes there. It was really reaching deep into the university. What's the middle ground?
Well, and I think that's what you're seeing the university push back as a result of how deep they want, what they're asking for, because they're saying they are in compliance with the law. And I think this is going to be one more thing that we see play out in the courts.
Yeah.
As Jackie said earlier, I mean, this is a fight that Trump wants to pick. I mean, he wants to have this
Yeah.
fight with these elite universities because I think he recognizes that not only this animates this base of MAGA supporters who are there and have his back, but also, I mean, these universities have been so out of step with so many conservative causes over the course of generations. Why not pick a fight with them right now?
All right, group chat, stay with me. We've got a lot to talk about.